Hi everyone, welcome. I'm Marcela from EVPL Central, and I'm putting in the finishing touches on my altar de muerto. I'm celebrating Day of the Dead, Día de los Muertos, and that's a very, very special day in Mexico. So welcome. Let me tell you a little bit about El Día de los Muertos, the Day of the Dead. It must sound weird, Day of the Dead, but it's not a scary holiday. In fact, it's a very joyous one. It's a day where we remember our loved ones that have passed away. For instance, I'm honoring my mom and dad are on the top, and my brother on the bottom, and my grandparents, my mother-in-law, my father-in-law. So it's a day of remembering them and celebrating with them. First, let me tell you a little bit about how this holiday started, El Día de los Muertos. It actually started way back with the Aztecs. The Aztecs had a month-long celebration where they really believed that the spirits of their loved ones would come back and celebrate them a whole month. And they celebrated with skulls because for them the skulls meant death and rebirth. Now, when the Spaniards got to America and they saw this, they said, no, this is terrible. No, we can't do this. But, they couldn't really stop the celebrations. So what they did was they kind of mixed Christianity with the Aztec beliefs, and that's how El Día de los Muertos was born. Now, for the Aztecs, Día de los Muertos was not a sad thing. It was a fun month, a fun time to celebrate and remember, because they just thought, death is like the cycle of life. It's very natural. So they weren't sad about it. It wasn't a sad festival. They would watch how their crops would go through this cycle of life, just like here in Evansville, there's spring and the flowers bloom and everything's so pretty, and they go through a whole cycle. And, in fall, the leaves start falling off, and then come winter, there's really no flowers, no leaves left on the trees, but then what happens again? They start the rebirth again. Now, part of what you do on this day is you can go to your loved one's grave and you can decorate it. And I think I have some pictures in these books I'll show you. And of course, you're going to put flowers. And the flowers of choice are marigold, cempasúchil. They're all over. And people actually believe that, they're so fragrant, and they'll throw the petals on the floor. And this is so the spirits will find their way and, by the smell, because they're so fragrant and they're so colorful. And if you can't visit your loved one's gravesite, well, you can always build an altar like the one I have back here. Now, this altar is special. It has a lot of different things, as you can see here. It has several tiers. Okay, it could have up to even 7 tiers if you want it. Now, there's usually papel picado, the paper on top, and this papel picado, well, it kind of represents the elements, the air, the wind, because it'll just make it fly. And in the first tier, you're going to put pictures of your loved ones. I put a picture of my mom, my brother, my grandparents, my mother-in-law, my father-in-law in that picture. And you can also put things that were theirs. I happen to put this here because it used to be in my parents' room. And you will put, of course, candles, and this is kind of to light their way. And there are many other things that you can put, and they all have a symbol. I put a few out and I'll tell you about them. In the second tier, you usually put food, and and it's usually your loved one's favorite food. I put tostadas here, and my father-in-law would love tequila, so I put some tequila. Now there's things that are traditional, like you always put water. You saw me pouring some water at the beginning, and this is to satiate the thirst of those travelers that are coming for the Day of the Dead, which by the way is November 2nd. And there's salt here, and the salt represents different things. It can represent the continuation of life, or some people believe that it acts to cleanse the spirits and purify their souls during the year. It's just a symbolism. This is pan de muerto, and it's an offering to the souls. I'll give you a recipe for it at the end. And those decorations on top, well, they're supposed to look like bones. And I put some fruit out. Also, if you can have a tier on the floor, and you could put the petals, the marigold petals, so they can find their way to the altar. So this is my way of remembering people I love very much and that I miss. And on this day, well, I'm honoring them, I'm remembering them, I'm celebrating their life. Okay, let's get to our book. I Remember Abuelito, a Day of the Dead story. Yo recuerdo a Abuelito, un cuento del Día de los Muertos. And this book is written by Janice Levy, and it's illustrated by Loretta Lopez, and it's translated to Spanish by Miguel Ariza. So let's get to our story. It's the Day of the Dead. It's time to celebrate. We remember our loved ones who have died. I miss Abuelito. He died a few months ago. Tonight, his spirit will visit. Es el Día de los Muertos. Es hora de celebrar. Nos acordamos de nuestros seres queridos que han muerto. Yo echo de menos a Abuelito. Él murió hace pocos meses. Esta noche su espíritu nos va a visitar. Will Abuelito's spirit come? I ask. His spirit will come like a butterfly, Mama says, quiet and beautiful. What will it be like? You'll see, Mama says. You'll feel him in your heart. ¿Cómo va a venir el espíritu de Abuelito? Pregunto yo. Su espíritu va a venir como una mariposa, dice mamá, tranquilo y hermoso. ¿Cómo va a ser? Vas a ver, dice mamá. Lo vas a sentir en tu corazón. It's the Day of the Dead. It's time to celebrate. Es el Día de los Muertos. Es hora de celebrar. Mamá and I go to the market. There's lots to buy. Mamá y yo vamos al mercado. Hay tanto que comprar. Pan de muerto, bread of the dead, a woman calls out. I choose a piece that's long and wrinkled like my abuelito's fingers. Pan de muerto, grita una mujer. Yo escojo un pedazo que es largo y arrugado, como los dedos de abuelito. Calaveras de azúcar, sugar skulls, calls a man. He squeezes icing on a sugar skull. A skeleton playing soccer reminds me of abuelito too. He liked that game. Calaveras de azúcar, grita un hombre. Él unta el glaseado en un cráneo azucarado. Un esqueleto jugando al fútbol me hace pensar en abuelito también. A él le gustaba ese juego. On the way home, I think about when abuelito and I played hide and seek. Sometimes he couldn't find me. What if abuelito's spirit gets lost? I ask. His spirit is like the butterflies, Mama says. They come to our town every year. They don't get lost. Abuelito's spirit knows the way too. En el camino a casa pienso en cuando abuelito y yo jugábamos a los escondidos.
Algunas veces él no podía encontrarme. ¿Qué pasa si el espíritu de abuelito se pierde?, pregunto yo. Su espíritu es como las mariposas, dice mamá. Vienen a nuestro pueblo todos los años, nunca se pierden. El espíritu de abuelito conoce el camino también. It's the Day of the Dead. It's time to celebrate. Outside our house, Papá, Tía, and I lay a path of marigold petals for Abuelito's spirit to follow. Es el Día de los Muertos. Es hora de celebrar. Afuera de nuestra casa, papá, tía y yo hacemos un trecho de pétalos de caléndula para que el espíritu de abuelito lo siga.
Tía comes to help decorate the altar. Mamá and Tía cook Abuelito's favorite foods. I fill a tall glass with atole, Abuelito's favorite drink. Tía viene a ayudar a decorar el altar. Mamá y Tía cocinan la comida favorita de Abuelito. Yo lleno un vaso grande de atole, la bebida favorita de Abuelito. Look at this beautiful altar they made. Those yellow flowers are cempasúchil, and then they put out Abuelito's favorite food.
Suddenly I see a wonderful sight. Mamá, papá, tía, look! It's the butterflies. Hundreds of black and orange butterflies fly through the sky. Some land in the tree next to our house. The butterflies have found their way, I say. I think that Abuelito's spirit will find his way too. De pronto veo algo maravilloso. Mamá, papá, tía, miren todas las mariposas. Cientos de mariposas negras y anaranjadas vuelan por el cielo. Algunas aterrizan en el árbol al lado de nuestra casa. Las mariposas han encontrado su camino, digo yo. Creo que el espíritu de abuelito ha encontrado su camino también.
You know, this is so true. The monarch butterfly flies every year into Mexico, and they fly thousands and thousands of miles all the way from Canada.
It's the Day of the Dead. It's time to celebrate. At the cemetery, Papa and I sprinkle marigolds. We wave to the other families. Es el Día de los Muertos. Es hora de celebrar. En el cementerio, papá y yo esparcemos más caléndulas. Saludamos con las manos a otras familias. I lay some of Abuelito's favorite things on his grave. Abuelito loved bananas, I say. These are the socks I bought for his birthday. Remember when he blew out the candles? He sneezed 3 times and got frosting on his nose. We laugh and then get quiet. The candles look like stars. Is Abuelito thinking about us too, I ask? Does he feel us in his heart? Pongo algunas de las cosas favoritas de Abuelito en su tumba. A Abuelito le encantaban las bananas, digo yo. Estos son los calcetines que yo le compré para su cumpleaños. ¿Te acuerdas cuando apagó las velas? Estornudó 3 veces y se le quedó merengue en la nariz. Nos reímos y después nos quedamos tranquilos. Las velas parecen estrellas. ¿Estará Abuelito pensando en nosotros también?, pregunto yo. ¿Nos estará sintiendo en su corazón? Tia squeezes my hand. Mama puts her arms around me. We close our eyes. A breeze tickles my cheek like a sneeze. The air smells like bananas. I look down and see butterfly resting on a petal near my feet. Abuelito, I whisper, is that you? Mama and Tia laugh. They hug me at the same time. Tía me aprieta la mano, mamá pone sus brazos alrededor mío. Cerramos los ojos. Una brisa acaricia mis mejillas como si fuera un estornudo. El aire huele a bananas. Miro hacia abajo y veo una mariposa posada en un pétalo cerca de mis pies. Abuelito, susurro, ¿eres tú? Mamá y tía se ríen. Las dos me abrazan al mismo tiempo. At night, Mama tucks me into bed. Sueña con los angelitos, sweet dreams, she says. She kisses my cheek. Her eyelashes feel like the wings of a butterfly. The Day of the Dead, a time to celebrate. I close my eyes and I dream of abuelito. Por la noche, mamá me arropa en la cama. Sueña con los angelitos, dice ella. Me besa en las mejillas, siento sus pestañas como si fueran las alas de una mariposa. El Día de los Muertos, es hora de celebrar. Cierro mis ojos y sueño con abuelito.
I really love this book. And you know, at the end, it even has an art project you can do with butterflies and a recipe on how to make Mexican hot chocolate. So good. I think I'll go make some. Hope to see you next time. Till then, adiós amigos, adiós amigas, yo ya me voy, ya termino. Adiós y hasta luego, yo ya me voy, ya termino. Adiós amigos, goodbye friends, till next time. I wonder if anyone will notice if I eat just a little bit of the pan de muerto. It just looks so good. Sorry, Mama. Sorry, Papa.